we are looking at a MAMAWEST Academy. I've got a 336 square meter space that I knew when I got this space it was too big. But when I looked at getting half of it, it was too small. And now I'm having some very interesting conversations, and especially my relationship as the creative consultant for Pivot Point and the resources and how much they've changed my apprentices' lives right before my very eyes. I really want to scale that and be able to actually bring quality education back to the hairdressing industry.
Have you ever had someone in your career call you just a hairdresser? Or sometimes you might struggle with your own internal dialogue? Welcome to the Beauty Grail podcast, the place where the industry's most curious, ambitious, and creative artists come to learn, grow, and stay inspired. I'm Ali, founder of the Beauty Grail, and in each episode we sit down with the artists, educators, and innovators shaping the future of the hair and beauty industry. From behind the chair to behind the brand, these are the stories, tools, and conversations designed to elevate you and your career. Because we all know you're not just a hairdresser. You're a business owner, a creative, an educator, a therapist, a content creator, and a chemist. The name of this podcast was inspired by our friend Natalie Ann. Some of you may remember she kicked off a social media series in 2025 called Not Just a Hairdresser. One of the biggest drivers behind creating the Beauty Grail was recognizing that the industry has world-level talent, but not everyone has equal access to learning from them. What excites me is giving every hairdresser from regional towns to big cities access to the kind of education and mentorship that changes careers. Joining me today is Sheridan Rose Shaw, founder of MAMAWEST in Melbourne, educator, ambassador for Timely, Original Mineral, and Salon Snack Co. More recently, she's been appointed as creative consultant for Pivot Point, Vic Hairdresser of the Year finalist for 2024, 2025, and 2026, Victorian Salon of the Year for 2023, and AHIA Australian Salon Newcomer of the Year for 2022. Welcome to the pod, my love. How are you?
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited you're here. What a bio readout. Can we just talk about that for a minute?
It's pretty special, isn't it?
It is so special. Like, how does it feel hearing that?
It feels just like a lifestyle now. You know, it kind of, every new opportunity I am always forever grateful for. And it feels like, you know, it's going to slow down at some point. But now I'm just kind of used to the pace of what the lifestyle is and looks like. So it's pretty special.
Oh my God. I was like, when I was pulling that together, I was like, man, this girl.
She doesn't stop.
She does not stop.
No.
And that was it. I had to like go rummaging for a few extra achievements, but you should be proud.
Thank you.
Now, for anyone that doesn't know you or your story, can you please tell us from the very beginning how you got started in the industry?
From the top.
From the top, girlfriend.
Well, when I became a hairdresser, I definitely did my school a favor in aborting the mission of, you know, anything related to school, because I was a problem child and I would cause any ruckus in class to get any form of attention because I didn't get a lot of that at home. I now see that as what that is and for what it is, but I didn't recognize it then. And I didn't have too many options, but I was either going to get a job at McDonald's or become a hairdresser. There weren't too many options at that age because I was 14. I was actually in the middle of my makeup diploma.
Wow, really?
I was. I'm a fully qualified makeup artist and was for half of my career practicing both. And I failed all of my hair units in my makeup course, so I had to repeat the hair units. But halfway through the course, I was like, my best friend was a hairdresser at the time, and I chose to work at a little salon in St Kilda called Tonic in the arcade. I don't know if you've ever seen
kind of
it.
rings a bell.
There's only one hair salon in that arcade.
Is it still there now?
It is.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so that was my beginning of being a hairdresser. So I did my certificate 2, my pre-apprenticeship, because that's what he said I needed to do to get an apprenticeship. And then when I finished my certificate 2, he said, "Sorry, doll, we don't have a job for you." And it was pretty traumatic, but I was lucky that I ended up in the perfect spot in the end, after a few little jump arounds, but I ended up training with a man named Frank Burgermeister, who was a bit of a rock star in their time. And I didn't recognize actually how blessed I was until now, when I tell people who I trained with and they're like, "Oh," and then I'm like, "Oh, I just hit the jackpot by walking in one day because it was close to home. I was living in the city with my dad at that time. And that was the beginning to my hairdressing career. So yeah, it was a really special time. And I didn't really have that bad of a time as an apprentice, if that makes sense. You hear some awful stories, but I was very lucky.
Yeah. And his salon was in the city?
Yeah, so it was in South Melbourne.
Yeah.
And there was actually another salon in Carlton as well. So the apprentices would all come together to the South Melbourne training salon, because there was a training salon above. And Anne Burgermeister was a massive influence in my life as well, and still a good friend today. And she was my cutting teacher as well. So yeah, I got to learn to cut hair with the best.
So how long were you there for?
So this is a great question. I was there for 2 years and I was going into my 3rd year, but by then I was getting the boundaries from the boss, which felt really jarring for me as someone who didn't have any boundaries at home. And I would say, 0 boundaries. Like, my dad was never home. I was allowed to get away with murder because there was no one there to tell me what to do. So by the time I had any kind of accountability at work, it was really jarring. It felt really quite hard to receive feedback. And I got some consistent feedback from Anne. And it was probably the 3rd bit of feedback that I was like, I'm just going to find another salon. And she always used to say to me, "You've got so much potential. You've got so much potential." She saw the potential within me. And then what's funny about that was I ended up finding a salon where the owner didn't live in the state, and it was the exact environment of my home. They didn't care about my training. They didn't care about being there. Like, I got away with murder. I could wag TAFE and no one would know. So that was what was more comfortable for me in the end. And that was the beginning of, I guess, a really hard part of my life where I was partying every weekend. It was a part of the lifestyle of, I would say, being a hairdresser some of the time.
Yeah.
Or a lot of the time. And it suited me really well, but I went down a really dark path to the point that I ended up getting fired from that job because I wasn't attending TAFE in the end, and I'd been paid for multiple days of being at TAFE. And I think he was just happy to for us to be done. But then I ended up getting a job at one of the best hair salons in Melbourne.
Which was what at the time?
Rikers on Collins.
Okay, in the city.
Which is, high-end Paris end of Collins.
Paris end of Collins.
Right?
Yeah.
You're with me?
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
And so that was also because of the training that I had, and I'm lucky I was able to stay with FB for most of my apprenticeship. So there was some solid foundations and skills that were recognizable for other salons as well. So, but then I ended up getting fired from that salon too. And that was kind of the beginning of the end.
With Timely, you can say goodbye to time-consuming business admin. Its easy-to-use booking software means it's easy for your clients to organise, check and reschedule appointments without needing to pick up the phone. Send automatic appointment confirmations, reminders and consultation forms to reduce no-shows. And with Timely Pay, you can take online and in-salon payments without any stress, so you're always in control of your cash flow. Use the business dashboard to get in-depth insights into everything from stock levels to staff performance. Get all this and more for a monthly payment with no hidden costs or unexpected charges. Simply choose the best plan for you and start having more good days at work. We've proudly partnered with Timely to give new customers 50% off for 3 months. Visit gettimely.com and use the code TBG when you sign up.
I remember getting fired from that job, and I remember
From Rockers?
Yeah.
Mm.
And they said, you can party, Sheridan, but you got to be able to show up to work and not have your eyes rolling back in your head while you're doing blow waves. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't see anything that you're seeing, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it was the beginning of the end. And it got a bit worse from there before I ended up getting clean and sober. And I've actually been clean now for 13 and a half years.
Wow.
From that moment on the park bench. And I've never drank or used a drug since because I know who I am and what happens to me when I do. I abandon all responsibilities and I cannot for the life of me show up even if I want to. I'm just not, which is funny, right? Because you know me and taking responsibility now in my life, I show up for everything and my problem is I can't say no.
Exactly. Exactly. Like you telling that story, you're just like on the completely other end of the spectrum.
Absolutely. And look, it
Now.
hurt like hell then, and it was a really, 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 really dark and humbling time. But I am so grateful for the homelessness. I'm grateful for being fired. I'm grateful for the training that I did get. And when I did start hairdressing, there was a light in me that turned on when I first discovered it. But then the darkness took over and it's like hairdressing meant nothing because I was busy. I was booked and busy somewhere else. And then hairdressing saved my life for a second time when I got clean and sober. And I didn't think that I would be able to stay a hairdresser because I really thought that I needed to use and drink to be creative. And it turns out I'm 10 times a better hairdresser when I'm not dropping eckies before a haircut.
Yeah.
Work that out. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
So
Sorry. Moving on.
No, I'm just like, where do we go from here? So there's so much in that. So because you have like so much perspective now.
So much.
But when you're in it, it's very difficult to have perspective.
Zero
So
perspective.
how long, like talking about partying, talking about getting fired, how long did it take you to really understand what you're going through and what that meant and like how your family life was kind of overflowing into your work life?
I was really lucky that I got clean at 20. So
it was early.
It was, but I started drinking, like blackout drinking at 14. So that's about 6 years of, alcohol abuse, hating myself. I didn't know that I hated myself until I got clean. And then I recognized, that's why I treated myself because I was in a bucket load of pain and was masking anything and everything that I could. So it was, I think, a series of events that led up to, when my dad changed the locks on me and didn't tell me, like I'm like, he's my dad. Like, what the hell? He was the problem at that point. But then I recognized the behaviors, I think looking back now, why that had happened. But at the time, I was a victim to my circumstances and he was a dog.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I think that was, again, one of the best things that ever happened to me because it led to a lot worse before it got better from there.
So 20 clean and sober, going back to my question, like when did you start to really kind of unpack? How long did it take you? When did you start to have that perspective to be like, wow, okay, actually that was what I was going through. That's what was happening.
Well, after the locks got changed on me from dad and I was homeless and literally
What age?
Couch surfing, that was towards the end. So I'm like 19, 20. Like that was when it all came crumbling down pretty quickly. I ended up somehow, after being homeless and couch surfing and I think that was about 8 months of my life that I had no home. And then I ended up living with a best friend's mum and that got really bad. And then we ended up moving out of there. And then it ended up just being a party house in the city, which was really exciting, but it just meant it just went from 1 day to 2 days to 3 days to 4 days to 5 days to 10 days. And then that type of abuse for anyone, it led to deep psychosis. And yeah, that was kind of the pattern. It crumbled really quickly. The more consequence to my life, the stronger but I still didn't know there was a problem until the psychosis hit for me. I think that's when I was like, oh, something's not right.
So was it like early 20s?
Yeah, very early 20s, where I ended up in a mental health psych ward. And that, I think, when I recognized the people that I was in the environment with, I was like, I don't belong here, but something's really wrong.
Yeah, something got me here.
And that was then the admission for the very first time, because all my friends around me would admit to being addicts, but I'd be like, I'm just having fun. Like I was in so much denial. So I couldn't see. I can't even answer the question because I couldn't see it until it was like, yeah, a pretty dark place in my head. And the being able to ask for help, I think, around my thinking.
Yeah. Because your thinking today is like very mature, very inward looking, very,
I've done a lot of work. I've had to really rewire every single part of self. And what I've learned is I haven't necessarily changed. I've just become who I am, which is 120% unapologetically and authentic Sheridan. Like, I cannot be who I am. The more I try to not be who I am, and I've tried over this last, decade to blend in to, I remember an era where I was like, I'm just going to try to sit in the back row and not be noticed. And it lasted a week because I am so loud. I am so bright. I am so, I tried to do the blonde hair thing and blend in and look like, my friends at the time. And I looked kind of very similar to the way that I did when I was in my heyday, fluoro yellow hair, wanting to be kind of seen and heard. But now I feel I cannot imagine me with brown hair. Like
even just seeing you in that brown waistcoat, I'm like,
right, the brown. I mean, yeah, we changed the table. We changed the outfits for today. But there's that I'm leaning into a little more. It's like I don't have to be the loudest, brightest person in the room. What do I like? And that's, I'm still always exploring that. And I think I'm in a bit of a rebirth at the moment after having my second baby.
Totally.
Who am I again?
Yeah.
So it's constantly asking, who am I, or who do I want to be in this moment to expand to the next part of self?
When did you start therapy?
Therapy, well, it started with group therapy after the psych ward didn't work out for me. And
so psych ward early 20s?
Very early 20s, like right before I turned 21. It was in probably September. I've got the dates. 2012. I remember vividly. I count my clean time date. It's like a rebirth for me. It's really important for me to remember where I've come from, because I really do forget until someone asks me about my journey and my life. And that's why, I can get a lot of slack for being telling my story in my industry, because I think we're riddled with similar personality types, and it can be a bit confronting for some, I suppose. But I cannot tell my story without telling you these parts
without
of me.
Honesty. Yeah.
Imagine if I went around it.
Yeah.
It would be. I wouldn't. I couldn't. I just couldn't. It's a massive part of who I am, and it has been what has shaped me, and has been a massive part of my success as well.
You said something there about that's what shaped you. So from a hairdressing perspective,
yes.
Who were some of those mentors, those people? What shaped you, aside from your journey with addiction? What shaped you in those early days?
What shaped me in those early hairdressing days was definitely, I was heavily influenced by Frank and Anne, and I longed to go back. When I got clean, I longed to go back and redo my life. And I've never, you can't do that. It doesn't work out like that. So I think for me, I've chased my own tail in wanting to repair the parts of my skill set that I turned a blind eye to. And that's why what I owe a lot of my success to, because I didn't feel good enough about myself internally. So of course I didn't feel like a good hairdresser either. I felt like I needed a substance to be good enough in anything and everything that I did. So I think building that over time through education, and I would say I've probably had more mentorship in the hairdressing industry space now more than ever before, because I have learnt to ask questions to the right people that I find attractive in the industry. And not just everyone, but the ones that really have some kind of light or ring around them. And I'm like, wow, your aesthetic is amazing. How did you get to where that you did? And I love people, and I'm interesting and interested.
100%.
You know what I
100%,
mean?
yeah.
We don't like sitting at tables with people that just talk about themselves the whole entire time, right? Like, it's like, where's this two-way street? And I'm that person that will pick someone's brain, whether it's appropriate time or not, because I'm like, this is a learning opportunity. Everything is a learning opportunity. So I think Anne and Frank for sure were those really heavy
Early days.
influences.
Yeah.
Now
Or more recently?
More recently, I've got Kim Cray, who's my business mentor, who has been life-changing. I feel like she's done enough deep work on herself to hold me, and we've grown, I think, together. And she's been to spaces that I hadn't been before, and I needed someone to drag me through the mud that could help me, because I've got this vision and I've got this mission, and it's bloody big and it's ballsy, and I'm just going straight in for it. And it has been horrific on the inside. Like, it has hurt so much, because that's life. Like, if you're expanding beyond your own nervous system all the time, you're like a slingshot.
That's life and business, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
So having people like Kim to guide me through that has been super important. Lyndall Salmon has been an amazing influence.
I met her for the first time last month. I love Lyndall.
She's just delightful.
Such a cool chick.
She is. And I think I look to her and how she dances in the industry, and I love her behavior and her authenticity and how she's just her. Lauren McCowan has been a massive influence to me too, and not just from a hairdressing perspective, but a business perspective as well. I feel like she's one of those hairdressers that has a lot of experience in not just creativity, but being a creative director for companies as well, and seeing all the back end of things and being able to help me negotiate with brand deals. And, I was on the Fame team in 2023 as well. So that was a massive mentorship process with M Division.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had I was like, what do we call it? We call it main event.
Yeah, I
M
know,
Division,
I know.
Oz Hair Fashion Awards. Like, I was like, had to really find my feet there. But that was kind of like, now has been a massive, process for me. I haven't got a specific mentor, but there's been people of influence.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, like, when I think about mentorship, it's not always like a structured engagement.
Yes.
And I think that's something that people often overlook. It can be a structured engagement.
Yes.
Like, I have a mentor I use every month.
Yep.
We have a catch up. We have our goals. We have our North Star, all of those corporate things.
Yep.
Right. But like, mentorship opportunities are everywhere.
They
Just
are.
being in the presence of someone.
Yes.
Or people, or expanding in different ways, doing something new and different.
Yes.
And, like, there's mentorship opportunities everywhere.
There really is. And I've got a lot of personal mentors that I process a lot of my stuff with and get, perspective and values and spiritual principles and all of those things that I really lead my life with these days. So it's like, hairdressing industry hasn't been and I think it's only now that I've got that opportunity that I can plug into those people. But it's been the people, outside in the world that have influenced and helped me firstly stay clean, get clean, and then help me live life, because I have a life problem. Life is incredibly difficult for me to regulate. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I'm thrown spanners left, right, and center, and I have a regulation problem. So much so that I abuse drugs to the point that I end up in hospital, like that's my issue. So I've got to find other ways to live my life, and people that can hold space for me and kind of just process emotion are ridiculously important. I've got a good group of women around me at the moment that I found in the industry as well, that are all running businesses, empires, you know, Tamara Reed, Kira as well. Like they're just, you find your people along the way that you can lean on, and really, you know, we mentor each other. And it doesn't always have to be a commercial agreement
100%.
because everyone wants to make $1 these days. And I actually prefer, and I've got all of that too. And I've got a nutritionist now that I pay for. I've got a gym. I've got a personal trainer. Like I've got a mentor in every single area of my life. But the ones that I get the most out of is definitely my inner circle.
Yeah, I love that. Your inner circle's so important.
Yes. Hopefully no one sees those Instagram DM voice notes. Like they're the ones that, you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Oh, I know exactly.
You know. And everyone knows.
When did you realize hair was your thing and you had a successful salon / career /
I've got a few points in my career. My first point was when I was in TAFE and I started colour, and it was the first thing I ever got 100% in my life. I'd never, ever gotten that kind of achievement, but it's because I was interested in it. But I got that sense of worth. So that was the first time that it hit me. And I would say now I love hair more than I've ever loved it before. So I feel like I'm in a peak, and I've recognized this is my passion. This is my life's work and purpose. And I get to give this gift to other apprentices. Like the fact that I get to change people's lives from the very beginning, there's something really magical about giving that back. So I think that's why I'm in a little bit of a like legacy, life purpose, reflective moment, because all of the skills that I've built over the last 18 years, I now get to be a mentor for someone else. And that's really the next part of the journey for me.
I feel like playing that role is so fulfilling.
It really is. And it can be hard. And, you know, it doesn't always go the way that you would hope.
Yeah.
But
that's the gig though.
That's showbiz.
Yeah.
That's showbiz.
Yeah.
But what's going on at MAMAWEST at the moment, and the people that we have in the team.
Yeah.
We've got 4 and they're all hungry and they fuel me in a different way. And we're trying to do things a little differently than what it was like perhaps when I was an apprentice in many different ways. Like we really are. I was not doing Pilates classes and breathwork classes.
Oh, yeah.
And
no,
getting
the
paid.
industry's changed a lot.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what I want to lead with as well. So, yeah.
Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Natalie Ann Hair Care. When you've spent years perfecting your craft and educating the industry, you don't just put your name on any product. You create something that reflects everything you stand for. That's exactly what Natalie Ann has done. A professional hair care range built on real expertise, designed for stylists who demand results and clients who expect the best. And her latest launch, the Sleek and Smooth range, a smoothing balm and styling brush made for the flawless slick back styles. No flyaways, no crunch, just polished perfection. Discover the full NA range at natalieann.com. I must say I actually miss having a team.
Yeah. Oh, you will.
Yeah.
You will. She's just getting started.
Yeah. Talk us through some of those challenges you face, because like obviously MAMAWEST, Westfoots Grey, like premier destination salon in Melbourne. You've gone through a huge period of growth over the last few years, personally, your business, the salon, education. Talk us through some of those challenges that you faced when scaling business, education, content, clientele.
Okay. One of the biggest, I've got 2 that came to mind when you said that. And my first one was, I think when I first started, I had never owned a business. I actually had a business for 5 years working on my own as a solo hairdresser before I scaled.
Yep.
And that served me quite well, but I didn't have any management experience at all whatsoever. But I did have an abundance of life experience and mentorship experience. So I had a little bit of leadership within me throughout all of that process. And I think what's happened over time is turning creativity into commercial success. That has been my biggest pain point, because when we first started, it was all creative. We do the creative color, that came with commercial success naturally. But then I think a lot of people look at MAMAWEST and they think it's fun, it's quirky, but we are so commercially driven because we have to be at the scale that we've gotten to. My overheads in my MAMAWEST 1.0 or MAMAWEST OG versus MAMAWEST 2.0 are, I would say, beyond triple.
Yeah.
So
I've seen some of your posts.
Right? Like it's so I've got no other choice than to start to lead commercially, but I've found a way to be able to lead commercially and creatively. And how we look at our client experience, everything is measured by numbers, but it tells us the gaps in our client experience by looking at it. I'm looking at, are we doing a $700 transformation? And what the hell is that client using on their hair at home? And if we're not talking about that, we're actually doing a massive disservice
to the client,
especially our creative color work. Like we cannot afford to not have that conversation with the client, because then we get a phone call when they've put their pale pink in and it's washed out because they were using Sunsilk on it at home. That becomes my problem. So we do abundance of training on the importance of why hundreds of people drive past multiple different salons to get to MAMAWEST, and why it's different and unique. And it comes all through education. So we educate from a commercial perspective when we do a lot of performance management and coaching around numbers and why it's important. And also, I'm incredibly passionate about the hairdressing industry. And I think we have a big problem when it comes to people pleasing and not being able to raise our prices. Like, people look at my prices and I'm telling you, I can't tell. So many people say, oh, I looked at your prices. Oh, Sheridan's charging this for a haircut. I'm like, it's actually not that deep when you look at my numbers. In fact, I don't even need to look at your numbers, and you should probably be charging what I'm charging. But people aren't brave enough or don't believe enough in their service. But I am so passionate about what we've done and what we've built and what we've scaled and what we've brought the team along the journey, and seeing their transformation of recognizing the importance. And then now it's just natural and it's normal. And that's why we get, over 300 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
Because people are like, they really heard me. They solved my problem. They spent 20 minutes in a consultation, not just the first time, but the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not that deep, but we put so much emphasis and put so much fear into money. Whereas now I'm like, no, this is a luxury. And we are moving into a wellness space now as hairdressers. People come to feel good.
Yeah. That relationship, that dynamic between client and hairdresser, it's just like, it's so special.
It's so
special.
It is beyond, like, I forgot how special it was because I've been off the floor after having Queenie.
Yeah.
But I had a conversation. I was back on the floor yesterday because we were trying to. Here's what this looks like, what I just talked about in action. A client walks through the door. They're booked in for a half head, but they need a full. They really need a full. Like, it's almost brown at the back, and I don't even know how it got to that stage. They're booked in for a half head, but they really need a full. We moved mountains for them to get a full head and a haircut, and it meant me jumping back on the floor so that they could walk away with exactly what they needed in that moment, because she drove an hour to get there and she's going to drive an hour to get home, and I'm not going to see her for another 3 months.
Yeah.
So that's what that looks like. We have upped our service total, not on purpose, but with heart and intention. And I think you're being on the floor and solving their problem and making them feel as good as what they did Like that was like, oh, I miss that. I miss solving those types of problems on the floor because my problems day to day look very different than my managers or my teams.
Oh, 100%, especially at the scale you're at.
Oh, the days that I don't have to solve a sewerage pipe or an
God,
electricity
what was it this
problem.
week? Was it electricity?
The
And then it came
electricity.
back on. Yeah.
24 hours.
Oh,
We had a
wow.
fully booked day, booked out till 9
Yeah.
p.m. and 1:30 the power goes out.
Yeah, business owner problems are
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Gut-wrenching.
Planned or unplanned?
Unplanned, babe. What do you mean planned? I'm like, yes. Anyway, it was just horrific. And no one can solve that problem but me.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd much prefer to be on the salon floor. And I think that's why salon owners hide in their business because it feels so good solving those problems, but we end up neglecting so many others. And that can look like our team. I don't have time for one-on-one catch-ups every month. I don't have time for, you know what I mean? And they're like, no, I don't want to bother her. She's booked and busy. You know what I mean? It's like, no, we make time.
I love that discipline. So important, though, especially at the size and scale that you're at. I don't know how salon owners can't be executing on that.
Well, because you've come from a corporate background, right? And I think for me, I've been able to find a corporate perspective and bring it into creative. And we found a really beautiful
balance
working relationship with both.
Yeah.
And it ebbs and it flows. You know, sometimes it is more professional or corporate, and sometimes it is more creative. And then there's the human, and sometimes it's more human. It's not black and white for me. And that's the thing that I've learned. I am finding the grey and living in the grey 24/7.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, how has Queenie shaped you embracing the grey the last few months? So
having Queenie was a bit of a left field moment for me. I've got a 7-year-old son and I was on the train of I'm going global. I don't have time for another baby. And it turns out you can do both. But it has humbled me in the way that Heath, my partner, was always going to be the stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
But I have a woman's body, and that has been incredibly humbling for me because I really thought that I could just go back, balls to wall, back where I was in the peak of my career last year and just like nothing ever stopped. And look, I still have. Like if you look,
I know
you know me.
I know you have. There's balls to wall intention and then there's balls to wall execution.
That's and I'm probably
for
more
you.
There's a lot of things I'm holding on at the moment.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things I'm exploring and I'm not acting. Normally I'm like, let's throw another ball and let's learn to juggle. But now I'm just like, let's sit with that. Let's observe this. Let's
bit more intentionality.
Have a bit more conversation. Yes.
And more intentionality on yes and no.
Yeah. Instead of like, let's get this a red hot crack and make it fucking work.
Yeah.
Because that's my usual style. Whereas now I'm like, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't need to rush.
Yeah.
And if it's good, it'll be even greater.
It's so interesting because like kids really slow you down, but they also really speed you up.
She has, and she's softened me. She's softened me in a way no one could. Like I look at her and it's really scary. It's really scary for me because I wasn't shown an unconditional love. I was completely and severely neglected as a child. So I think having her has been I knew it was going to be hard having a little girl because I had to relive. So we got glad.
I know. I'm like,
But it's true. I've had to relive how. I don't know how I got through my life. And I think having her, it was different with Junior because he was a little boy.
He is, yeah.
And he was the light of my life and he's healed me in many ways. But Queenie has helped me acknowledge the pain and turmoil that I went through growing up. And that's been hard because I'm so aware that I don't want to be a workaholic. I don't want to put the needs of everything else before her, because that was what happened to me. So but it's only since she's been here, so she's been the greatest gift ever, because I used to say it's all for my family before, but now it feels really different.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to this poem the other day on social media, of course, and it was talking about the dynamic of like working hard for your family, but always ensuring that your family aren't getting the worst of you.
So the build-up of having Queenie and trying to go back to the way that I used to live and act, and then getting mastitis once, and then getting mastitis twice, and then getting mastitis 3 times, and recognizing that mastitis is stress and inflammation. And then Heath started smoking by the time I got the 3rd bout of mastitis. And then I started to recognize this is consequences of my actions and going too hard, too quick,
too fast,
too soon. So I could see for the
your body
first
was telling
time.
you.
My body
your body was
is
telling you.
now driving. So thank you, feminine energy.
Yes.
I do believe in it. And I think there is something wild going on inside of me in terms of rebalancing, because I have always been quite focused in that masculine energy, the doer, the hustler, the beat, whereas now I feel like I'm actually really dancing with both quite well. And I've always had that part of me, but I've neglected it. And I think Queenie, being a little girl, has just brought that to the front and center.
Resurfaced.
Yes.
You know when a product comes along that just changes the game? Well, if you're a stylist or you love great hair, you're going to want to hear this. Today's episode is brought to you by Jador Hair Supplies, and they've just launched the incredible Cane Vakai 7cm tape weft extensions. These extensions are designed to make every stylist's life easier. The 7cm tapes means faster installs, which mean less time in the chair and more money in your pocket. Whether you're doing a full transformation or quick infills, the wider tape gives you extra coverage and a beautifully seamless blend. And of course, quality is everything. The Cane Vakai range comes in 12 stunning colours and a luxurious 22 inches in length, giving you options for every client and every look. If you're ready to level up your installs and deliver flawless results with less effort, check out the new Cane Vakai 7cm tape weft extensions. Available now, exclusive at Jador Hair Supplies. Your clients will love them, and honestly, so will you. Head to trade.jadorhairsupplies.com.au, linked in our show notes. Gotta love those babies for that.
Oh my Lord. I never thought I'd be that person that's like...
She's such a honey. Like, anytime you post her, I'm just like...
So it's like you have kids, to give the gift of life, but then you get so much in giving. Like there is such a profound, it's pretty special. I just cannot believe this is happening for me. And I still can't believe I have a daughter. Like I still can't believe it. But here we are, right?
I know. I'm actually a bit upset she's not here this weekend.
Everyone says that to me, right? But
do
I'm
they ask
working,
you if you're bringing her?
I'm working.
Yeah.
Where's your baby?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
That's actually my...
I don't mean it as in like, where's your baby? What are you doing? I mean it as in like, I want to hold her.
I know.
But there's two ends of the spectrum there. There's one they want to, hold the baby, and there's another like, why are you here and your baby isn't?
Yeah,
and that's definitely not.
Where's Queenie?
Yeah.
Where's Queenie?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Imagine if she was in this podcast right now.
I mean, we'd make it work for her.
She's not on the spreadsheet.
Oh, she's one of the... I mean, I would make an exception for a late edition for her. All right? Oh, yes. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Thank you for
Oh, my God.
asking.
This is the first time I've teared up in an episode. Of course it's hitting. Of course it's going to happen with yours.
Yeah. Aww.
So being a mum is such... It sounds so cliche, but it's such a transformational time, and the transformation is happening regularly.
Yeah.
So how are you thinking about productivity from like a tech and this is going to sound like an interesting combination, but from a tech AI point of view. Now, because I think about this a lot,
Mhm.
Productivity as tech is advancing so quickly, as
Yeah, it
AI is
is.
advancing so
Yeah, it
quickly,
is.
like, how are you thinking about that as at the moment as like a return to work mum, breadwinner, Heath stay-at-home dad? Like, what are you doing at the moment in your work-life routine?
That's actually a really interesting question, and it helps me finish the other challenge that I faced, actually, and that is outsourcing.
Yeah.
Outsourcing and not being the only person.
Mm.
Because when you are scaling, you need systems, you need processes, and you need people to help you get the job done. And when your mission is as big as mine and it's about to get bigger, watch this space.
Always.
Always. That's the one I'm just sitting on at the moment. Like, that's what I've recognized. I need those things created. And we don't always have time to do that.
I
And I think
know, because you got to stop doing the doing
that's
to be like, where are we taking this from an
exactly,
efficiency point of view?
totally.
Yeah.
So for
I get stuck in
me,
that rut all the time.
I see you, sometimes it only happens, I think, when we're forced
Yeah.
to change. Once we get to the stage, it's like, okay, like I would never have gotten off the salon floor if it wasn't for Queenie.
Mm.
I was forced to look at all the systems and processes and back end of my business like nobody's business. So I've been on the back end of my Timely at the moment, literally looking at the way that our consultation forms are even sent. It used to be quite generic. How fix your hair?
Mm.
How this. But now it's all so ridiculously personalized that people are now telling stories to us before they're even in the chair. So we've got a really clear picture and idea of what that person is thinking and feeling. Have they ever had a good haircut before? Are they a difficult client, or have they really just never been heard before? So that's what it kind of looks like. That's what I'm heavily relying on is the supports that I have. And also we've just had a massive Trello system built out by the Conscious Salon, where we've got all of our systems on the back end that people can refer to, because now that I'm not in the salon all the time, we need comms.
Yeah. Yeah. People need to know how to move, how to operate, how to execute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it's like you have to be in the situation to then
Yeah,
start
you're
to solve the
forced.
problem.
You're forced. Yeah, 100%. So that's such an interesting one about consultations and consultation forms, because it's so topical in the industry and
Right now especially.
Yeah, I feel like it has been for a
Yeah,
while.
thanks to trends, right? It's like all
Yeah.
these consultation videos are
Videos.
popping off
Yeah.
because clients
Yeah.
want to see that. They
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
see what's going on. So I think the expectations are now higher than ever before.
Yeah.
And for me, the anxiety of doing a client that I'd never met before, I still get that. So the more information I know about that client, the better I'm going to feel, so that I can serve and solve their problem.
And the better the client satisfaction.
It's
Yeah.
comms. Before they've even walked through
In
the
the door.
door, they've got a
Yeah.
feeling of how much we care.
Yes.
That we've already got this
It's so
automated
funny
form.
because we think about it as technology automation through a booking platform, but to a client point of view, it's so much more than that.
It's all about the client experience.
Yeah.
It's the journey before they get to us.
Mm.
And that's why even the automation post journey has also been what I've been working on the back end. But to a point, curation, I think people are setting and forgetting. We need to constantly be looking at this stuff.
Yeah,
and
revisiting
measuring it.
revisiting the systems, the setup, the automation to make sure it's fit for purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is, hairdressers don't have time.
Yeah.
They've got
But you
to
gotta
make time.
Yeah, you do. Especially at at the scale you're at. I mean, at
Yes.
any because
I
it's
think
like
at any
it's a
scale.
it's a retention indicator.
It is. It's all about retention.
Yeah,
And
and we all
that's
know if we get that client retention, you're in a much better position from a revenue point of view.
And though that data tells us how good of a job we're doing, so that I can communicate that to my team.
Mm.
And that's my responsibility, is to leave my team better than how I found them.
Yeah.
And I really believe through that data that I'm looking at, literally, I'm looking at my executive summary every single week and
Mhm.
putting that data into a spreadsheet and then looking at it not just from a weekly perspective, a monthly perspective, and then a quarterly perspective because, let's be honest, we can't be perfect all the time.
Mm.
We are human beings, and those quarterly catch-ups are often the most exciting catch-ups because we get to look at, you know what I mean? The season.
Yeah.
And where are we at from a
Yeah.
percentage perspective? Because that's probably more important
You're
for me.
speaking my language.
I know. Do I look so
The
sexy
data,
to you?
the data speaking my language.
Yes.
I love it.
I think we're so blessed that I don't have a paper book anymore. I've got a whole entire software system that has so many opportunities that I get to actually makes my life easier.
100%.
I don't need to go to a secondary program like Trello and build something out. It's all there.
Yeah. So we're on to Fast 5 lightning round. Tell me, what's a myth about the industry you wish people would stop believing?
You can't make money.
Mm.
This is the topic that I'm so passionate about at the moment is, what's the word? Diversification?
Yeah. Income diversification?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
hairdressers can travel the world, can be a platform artist, can build resources.
They're rock stars.
We actually are. And in the 80s, we were recognized as that, but we've lost our power. And it's time to take it back because my career, like the life that I get to live, it is so fast paced. Like I'm flying literally every fortnight, at least, sometimes every week for my job. I just got glammed to come and sit on a podcast and talk about my work and I just think there are so many opportunities. And then, you can shoot collections for awards and then travel the country, connect with an industry and be instantly recognized and credible because you've been nominated for something globally. Like that to me is wild.
It's very special.
It's so special.
Yeah, it's so special. Quick shout out to something I actually use every day at the Beauty Grail, the 270X Creator Tools from FK. The viral MagSafe snap stand is my absolute go-to. My phone just clicks on and I've instantly got the perfect angle. It's compact, reliable, and it honestly comes everywhere with me. The wireless mics are super clean and an absolute must-have. And the vlog screen, genuinely game-changing. It sticks to the back of your phone so you can use your back camera and still see yourself, which means way better video quality without the guesswork. If you're creating content for your business, this tech makes everything faster, easier, and your videos look so much more professional. And because you're listening, FK is giving you 15% off. Just head to phoneking.com.au and use the code BEAUTY15. I actually love this stuff. It just makes filming simple. All details linked in our show notes. Now, a mentor once told me in my early 20s that skills that got you to your current place promotion goal aren't the same ones that are going to get you to the next step. What are you laughing at?
It's just so true.
I thought you were about to start mocking me then.
No, that is so true. I mean, I told you all what was going on for me when I was 14 years old when I just became a hairdresser.
Yeah. But you know what? When she told me that in my early 20s, I was like, my mind was blown.
It's so
as
true.
a 22, 3-year-old. And it's something I've never forgotten. So my question to you is...
there's no question. Yeah, the question.
It wasn't a statement. It was a question. What's something you're letting go of and something you're honing in on?
I'm letting go of trying to do it all on my own. And I'm honing in to receiving the level of support from people and that I am worthy of that. And I am also worthy of being able to give. It's not black and white. I never look at anything like that. So I think...
Do you think that's it's hard to receive when you've had to be so independent and strong? It's very hard to receive.
That's the part that I'm opening up my heart to because, and that's what is scary. That's what's scary about... I've never... Yes. You nailed how you asked me that question. 100%. It's my background. I didn't receive in the way that I think I needed to instinctually as a little girl. So I've had to really struggle through. Who would have thought that my biggest struggle is accepting love in life? Like, that breaks my
Stop.
heart.
You're going to make me cry again.
But it's happening. It's happening in my life
Yeah.
at the moment. So something's moving.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it.
Oh, my God. Stop. You just spoil me in the best way possible. What's a decision that you made? I think I know the answer to this, so I'm going to ask it anyway. What's a decision that you made that changed everything but might not have made sense to everyone else?
Sorry. It's just so funny.
When she laughs like that, I'm like, is she mocking the question?
No, I'm laughing with you. I'm laughing with you. I don't have any inch of sarcasm, and I can't even do
my God, I love
sarcastic
you.
friends.
Yeah.
There's no sarcasm in this lady.
Yeah.
If she's laughing, she's fully relating.
No, I love.
That's what that is.
I love that.
You'll know now.
Yeah.
Every time I'm laughing at you, you're like,
Yeah.
she gets me.
Yeah. She does.
But it can get me in trouble. I'm gonna say MAMAWEST 2.0 because that was like, there were so many people that were like, it's gotten back to me that people were talking and they're like, how did she do that? Like, it was wild what I pulled off.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I am so proud of I was disgustingly so. I knew that was what I needed to do, though. Like, it was the most excruciating, painful journey I've ever been through, because instead of taking baby steps, I had to
just went big.
I had to grow really fast and quickly, and there was a lot of learning, little learning curves along the way that humbled me, that humbled me to the fetal position moment many, many, many times, and being so far in the red that I didn't know if I was ever going to come out. But we're out the other side and we're just getting started. So
that was actually not the answer I was expecting.
What were you expecting? Were you going to say Queenie?
I thought it was going to be something more about your recovery journey.
No, I feel like it's just, I'm a bit bored by my recovery journey.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a really important part of who I am, and I need to consider that all of the time. That is actually the problem, and why I still talk about it, because I forget. I forget. It was 13 years ago, right? Whereas now I'm so probably in the nervous system of what's going on now.
Totally.
Yeah, but good point.
What's a standard in your life or career that is now non-negotiable?
Integrity. It is undeniably integrity. Hands down, that's it. And I really look to my peers for that. I look to everyone around me for it. And if I feel that is compromised, that's step back, internal. Doesn't need to be anything other than that. And I've really recognized that this year. That has been my number one. Wow, that is a massive value of mine, and it's really important to me to be around that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that for sure. I see that in you. Final question. What's the next audacious goal you're working on right now?
Am I going to say it? Is it too soon?
Has she got an exclusive for us?
I might have an exclusive. I don't know if I'm ready. This always happens.
You can just give us a little hint.
All right, it's come up. Let's do an exclusive.
Oh.
Okay, all right, we're being honest. This is the first time I am saying this outside of the inner circle. And we talked about legacy and we talked about the importance of giving back. And we are now at a really crucial time in the Australian hairdressing industry where apprenticeships are being overlooked. So we are looking at a MAMAWEST Academy. I've got a 336 square meter space that I knew when I got this space it was too big. But when I looked at getting half of it, it was too small. And now I'm having some very interesting conversations, and especially my relationship as the creative consultant for Pivot Point and the resources and how much they've changed my apprentices' lives right before my very eyes. I really want to scale that and be able to actually bring quality education back to the hairdressing industry. And that's something I'm really passionate about. So we are looking at what that looks like. And it might not be a 2026 thing, but it sure as hell gonna be a thing. Exclusive. You're welcome. You know how I just can't not be honest. Like, it's.
I just don't know where to go from there.
I know, right?
We didn't even talk about this before, like during Glam.
Right. It's just so big, but it doesn't feel big. Just like MAMAWEST 2.0 didn't feel big, but it was big. And I know that this is probably even bigger because there's a lot of red tape, there's a lot of compliance, there's a lot of paperwork.
You're in the perfect, like everything you've just been through has prepared you for this moment.
I feel like that. I feel like that. And even what I spoke about, what the legacy and what's important to me these days. You know, I don't want to focus so much on the limelight in the front and center of the industry now. I want to focus on who's going to be me in 5 years or 10 or 50. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm excited about. I'm looking future focus for our industry.
Oh,
because it's changed my life. It really has. Yeah. I'm in such a peak, and I get to, I get to fly and meet friends and connect, and just like, it's just the best life because of the people. It's the people that hairdressers are. You know what I mean? We can just connect so quickly with each other. Like, we're just, you would know, like, we're a crazy
I know.
But we're so lovable.
Yeah. So lovable.
Right? If you find your hairdresser.
I'm converted. I was converted from day one.
You were. You're like, I want to support these people because I've got systems and processes, and you do.
And run sheets.
You handhold the hairdresser in a way that we need to be held, and that's what you're so great at. So,
thank you, babe. Thank you. Well, my love, thank you so much for joining us.
Yay!
We have linked all of your handles, details, and notes in this episode's show notes.